Okay, so the client had 3 lines. He asked for the 3 numbers to be ported out. No? Am I right until now? Okay, so the 3 lines, they were showing in the system that we still charge for those 3 lines while the client asked for the lines to be ported out. So if I understood correctly, there were 2 scenarios. Either the client wanted to go with the 3 lines to be ported out, or he wanted to keep them, but at the end of the day he needed them, either with us or a different provider. He needed them. Now if we charge the client for the lines, and that the client had the lines in the meantime, in the same time, transfer with the other provider, I guided the agent to the billing department to do the adjustment. Because if the lines were already ported out, if that was the case, the reality, and then we charge in parallel in the same time, we need to do an adjustment. If the lines were not ported out, and that the reason we charge the client is because the lines were not ported out, not an error, because charging a client for the lines, it's either because they are still with us, either by error. So if it was an error, the lines were not ported out, he was supposed to go to the other provider to ask for the lines to be transferred. If there was an error, if the lines weren't ported out, if there was an error with the billing, he had to not to call but to write to billing to adjust the billing if the lines were with the other provider. If not, the client had to go again to the other provider to ask for the lines to be ported out. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If the billing department, it is I'm gonna get there, but I'm trying to thinking with loud voice. So if I did a mistake by referring the agent to the billing department, it's you to decide. But my judgment was, if the care provided access to a specific email to every one of us, because if not, we could consider a discrimination. Hey, how come a care doesn't have access to the manpower, to the company resource, and only loyalty have access to the company resource? So if provided access to the company resource in order to help the client, that's the reason I refer the client to billing, because care had access to billing as well. If they wouldn't have access, I would take the call, I would write to billing. No, it's not perfect, but because as you said yesterday, there is no perfect call. You said it yesterday. There isn't perfect call. It isn't. No, but that's what I heard. You said there isn't perfect call, and you said if they wanna find something, they're gonna find, because there is no perfect call. It isn't perfect call. But it, but it, yeah, yeah. But you mentioned, because how come they can find something if the call is not perfect? They are connected. If the call is perfect, why they still find something if the call is perfect, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If the scenario is that, if the scenario is for that, it depends on the scenario. Yeah. No, okay, but you said there are rare. There are very rare, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There is, but can we say that the perfection of the call is also related not just to the character of the agent but also to the scenario of the call? Can we say? We can say. Okay. 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 So you say that the perfection of the call is not influenced, is not impacted by the scenario of the call. Okay. It, it shouldn't. Okay. It shouldn't, but it shouldn't. It means that it's not. It's not a guarantee. It shouldn't, but it's not a guarantee. So here, do we have a procedure? No, but yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm. No, I did. I did. I did, but you seem to disregard the circumstances. Yesterday you disregard, you ignore the circumstances that I offer myself to help the lady three times, three times. Oh, I'm sorry. No, because you going to the, I know you are going to the direction that I hang up the call. I hang up the call to the lady after I proposed her three times to help her out due to language barrier. She refused. She refused. So I proposed her. I told her, "Madam, now while we are talking, is there someone else next to you who speaks English?" She said no. Then I said to her, "Madam, can I call you back when someone else will be available next to you who speaks English so that I can explain you about the penalties?" Because she inquired about the penalties. She said no. And then there was a third attempt. So that's what you are ignoring, because you are too focused. Of course, that's why the judgment. I suspect that the judgment is not fair, is not balanced. That you might ignore some circumstances, but it's okay. I mean, if you represent the company, of course, I don't trust that the judgment is correct as long as there is no neutral part. So the decision is yours, no problem. But that's the thing, because that's why I told you yesterday. Maybe someone outside the company, maybe they will consider the circumstances. Yeah, the agent hung up the call, but he hung up the call after he proposed the client to help, but the client refused. That's a fact. She refused. So then I'm like that, with the hands tied. You tied me. Right? For how long should I have been tied on the phone? Tell me, show me a procedure on the phone where it says whenever agent proposes the client to help and the client is refusing, agent has to stay tied for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 50 minutes, 500 minutes. Tell me, because I didn't know what to do. I stuck. I blocked. I just stuck. Mentally, I stuck. When I hit a barrier, no, like you with the denial with Christian, no. But if you keep, I mean, what can I do, me as a human being? Me, do I have rights as a human being? If I don't have, tell me, you don't have the right to do this, even though, despite that, tell me, and no problem. But let's make it written. What rights do I have as an agent, as a human being? Whenever, like I said, I hit a refusal 3 times, what should I do? Should I have insisted for another 2 times? Why not 5 times? Why not 55 times? Why not? Is there a dictionary? Is there an eternal, I don't know, rule? For how long should I have insisted with a lady without getting to the point to hang up? Because that was my mental limit for that call.